Now I'd like to introduce our speaker today, Tasha Harris, who's here to speak with us about turning a hobby into a business. She is the president and COO of Kobi Company. You may have seen the display table outside when you came in. Kobi is an intergenerational candle company that sits at the intersection of scent, sound, and self-care, pairing hand-poured luxury candles with playlists to help set your vibe. After 2 decades in the corporate world, she stepped away in 2019 and really wanted to focus on wellness, family, and self-care, those being of most significance to her. Her daughter was crafting and selling candles as a teenager, and she decided to embrace it and support her in her endeavors of entrepreneurship. Now that her daughter is a young adult, she is thriving with her business, embracing learning, collaborating with others, and enjoying the satisfaction derived from building a legacy around well-being and rest. So please join me in welcoming Tasha Harris.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura, for the invite, and thank you, Bloomington Rotary Club. I appreciate the opportunity to share our story with you. I'm very informal. After having, actually, let me stop. If we could please observe a moment of silence in honor of those who are no longer with us. 9/11 happened 22 years ago, and so I'd like to respectfully ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. As Laura mentioned, I am Tasha Harris, co-founder, COO, and momager of Kobi Co. Kobi is my teen daughter. She sends her regrets for not being able to be here with us today. She just returned from New York on her first independent big girl trip to New York. I was fretting the whole time, but she made it back safely, thank goodness. As Laura mentioned, we are the ultimate intersection of scent, sound, and self-care. We pair all of our candles with a curated playlist to help set your vibe. And later I'll tell you a little bit about how vibe setting is actually self-care.
Tasha, could you hold the microphone?
Absolutely, sorry about that.
Thank you.
Let's see. In October of 2019, I quit my corporate career, my 30-year corporate career in banking and finance. I had ultimately hit a wall and was really stressed out and found myself spiraling in depression. Earlier in my career, I found joy in climbing the ladder and achieving what ultimately was success. Without notice, it all came crashing down on me, and so I left without notice and without a plan. That was in October of 2019. Little did I know, as my world was changing, the world would soon be changing along with me. And 4 months later, the pandemic happened. Also during that time, Kobi was planning on attending a college tour and was raising funds to independently pay for that trip. But then COVID cut the trip short and also cut her high school experience short. That was really devastating for her, her social life, as everyone else. I mean, as all teens, we all know, their social lives mean a lot to them. And when I started noticing symptoms that I was experiencing in my daughter, it really caught my attention. I could see that she was stressed out. I could see that she was depressed. And so we did what we knew to be best, and that was seek out therapy. That was super helpful for her and for us as a family. But then we also were really intentional about creating a space for us at home to bond and stay active. One of the ways she stayed active, she started pouring candles, and that in turn became a self-care, a method of self-care and therapy, and very therapeutic for her. She began selling the candles and started getting invites to pop-ups and festivals. And what happened after that was a whirlwind. As I was sitting in my experience of not knowing what was next, I was finding joy in seeing her really thrive in pouring candles and sharing her story and sharing the candles with the population the very small population that we had exposure to. We were invited to table share with a business called Latunji's Palette that had a table at the Minneapolis Farmers Market. We started getting repeat business and people really sharing how much they enjoyed our candles because they weren't just lighting a candle, it was an experience that they were having. And word quickly got to one of our favorite stores called the Electric Fetus. We grew up here in South Minneapolis, and the Electric Fetus was one of our happy places. And so the buyer ended up reaching out to us and asking if we could share our product with their customers. And little did I know, I mean, I knew a lot about corporate banking and finance, but I knew nothing about retail or wholesale. But it came to us, and we have had some really great partners to help us understand the process in the meantime. Immediately after, or during our wholesale experience, we decided to open an e-commerce store. We had no experience with that either, but it was trial by fire. We had some really great support from some organizations, one in particular. Target has a pro bono program where they partner employee volunteers with small businesses and help them with projects. We just so happened to be a recipient of their marketing project, and so they helped us revamp and refine our brand, our story, and our overall appearance, which really helped us begin to sell even more. Because of their efforts, today we can now be found in Electric Fetus down in the Valley, all 8 Patina stores, all 11 Kowalski's stores. There's a boutique in Atlanta and one in Chicago that's underway, and most recently Martin Patrick, which is a really nice boutique in, across the street from the Monte Carlo. Let's see. At Kobi Co, we believe in giving back. Initially, Kobi had wanted to contribute a portion of the funds from the sale of our candles to contribute to her college fund, but immediately after high school, she realized she wasn't ready for that college journey just yet because she was still experiencing anxiety and stress from distance learning. And so staying true to the mission that was really driving us, she wanted to she ended up creating a scholarship for other BIPOC women to help them with their education. And so giving back has really been an important component of our business. And so as we've grown, we've definitely faced quite a few challenges. I have experience in corporate banking and finance, which does not translate into sales and retail and wholesale, and so we've had to learn on the fly. Some of the other challenges that we've experienced have been obtaining access to working capital, and so we've had to get really creative. We initially bootstrapped our business starting with $600, and by the end of our second year, we had grown and had 6 figures in sales. And so I attribute our creativity to helping us generate sales and fill in the gap between traditional funding and bootstrapping. We're now at a point where we are seeking capital and are testing the waters with pitch competitions, grants, and overall just increasing our sales. Additional challenges we've had is just building our team. Along with other small businesses, it's really hard. We're finding it really hard and challenging to find talent and build our team in an effective way with smart and skilled and qualified people. So another way that we've had to get creative is to leverage our family and friends, and so it's not unusual to see our entire family at a Kobi Co event. My husband is the driver and heavy lifter of all things heavy. My son, we have discovered he's an amazing salesperson. And Kobi, she is the creative, and I'm in the background as the momager, pulling all the strings and just ensuring that we have a solid foundation. I come from an operations background traditionally, and so it was really easy for me to find my space and help create processes and procedures that allow us as a very small team to know which way to navigate and when. I really enjoy working with my family, and it's been an amazing journey. I get fired at least once a week by my daughter because I'm the COO, she's the CEO, and she never fails to let me know. It's been super amazing to see her really grow and thrive in this role, even though she's decided to take a gap, what's turning into 2 years. She is learning in real life. She's gaining the real life experience, on the job training, and it's really rewarding for me to see her thrive in that capacity. She's demonstrating leadership skills and making really difficult decisions. And while it's difficult to be fired by your daughter weekly, it's amazing to see her really turn into the mini me that she is. And so I just ask her for grace, and I give her grace because one of the other challenges that we had was my expectations. Again, I had a career in corporate for about 30 years, and I was expected to know and have all the answers. And so it was a challenge for me to work with my daughter and have not recognize that I was imposing those same expectations on her, and she hadn't, she had barely graduated high school and hadn't really had these opportunities. And so we found ourselves, having a bit of conflict. And it wasn't until our therapist sat us down and really helped us understand to define and separate the roles. I'm her business partner, but I'm also her mother, and there has to be a separation of duties. And so I no longer try to parent her at work, or when I do catch myself, I really do ask for her grace, because it's amazing what she's created and allowed me to grow into, and for us to ultimately grow into something that we can share with the community and give back to the community with the scholarship. Some more of the challenges that we've had were, let's see. Sorry about that. Growing quickly. We did not anticipate that word of mouth. We've never invested in paid advertising. Our growth has been strictly organic. We did not anticipate the power of word of mouth. A lot of people found us at the farmers markets and began to share our story and share products and with gift giving to their friends. And before you knew it, our e-commerce sales started to grow, and it really validated us and our business and our mission to really take a step back and focus on self-care. Again, when I left corporate America, I was really I was done. I was fried, and did not anticipate taking the entrepreneurial journey, and that it would ultimately lead to a self-care journey for me and for my daughter. And so those are, the fact that it really propels us to move forward and continue to share our story. We say we're the ultimate intersection of scent, sound, and self-care. All of our candles come with a curated playlist, and we believe those playlists are self-care. We believe that music has the power to heal. And so when Kobi curates those playlists, she wants you to have an experience. She wants you to feel joy. She wants you to feel relaxed. If you're listening or burning our chillaxing candles, she wants you to take a moment to be intentional and to relax. And so, or we do have a purple rain candle. So if you gotta release some of that stress and have a dance party, we've got a candle for that as well. Let's see. So another challenge that we had was growing too quickly. We, again, are a small team, and we found ourselves overwhelmed with wearing all the hats. One way that we addressed this was, again, leaning into the creativity that is, networking, really, and asking for help. I consider myself a lifelong learner, And so we really leaned into joining like-minded groups and accelerators that helped us fill in those gaps where we didn't have the knowledge. We've been a part of many successful accelerators, one based in Colorado called SistaBiz, and one here in Minneapolis called Lunar. Both of those organizations provided us with a wealth of knowledge and support from mentors and experts, subject matter experts from various fields that really helped us bolster our business and our business plan. We were just accepted into the Goldman Sachs 100 million Black Women Accelerators, and I leave for that orientation in New York in a couple of weeks. And that's another 12-week extensive program that will, again, just help us better navigate the business, the world of e-commerce and retail. And so we're super excited about that. Being an owner, a business owner, has its own set of stress, and we, again, like to make sure that we're focusing on self-care. And so a couple of tips that I would recommend as far as self-care, and all of us who are busy with many challenging things in life, is just to take a step back and take a moment and to really make sure that your self-care routine is, it speaks to you. It can be something as easy as lighting a candle and putting on some tunes, or stepping out for a quick breather. I personally, through my self-care journey, discovered meditation. And what I love most about meditation is it's something that you can do by yourself, walking or sitting. You don't necessarily need any tools, but it really just helps me take a step back and gather my thoughts and center myself around just the quiet and getting prepared for what's next. So at this time, if you don't mind, I'd like to introduce a 2-minute mantra meditation and share with you. If you'd like to participate, please do. This will just help, again, center you as you go throughout your day and create a moment of solitude and peace. So I will share with you for a moment. If you'd like to participate, feel free to close your eyes. And we will begin. And as you listen to the words, they're saying, breathe it in and let it out. And as you just hear the words, take a deep breath, a deep cleansing breath, and a gentle exhale. Take this time to let go of any stressors that may be present. Notice any areas of tension in your body and just send your breath to that area. And as you exhale, let go of that tension. Let go of negative thoughts. Let go of any pressure. Thank you. I just want to remind you to take moments of peace for yourself. And self-care is not selfish. Self-care is what we all deserve. So thank you so much for having me.
questions. Eldon looks like he has a question, and I just ask if you can repeat the question when he states it for recording.
This morning in the paper, Minneapolis paper, there was a story of a woman like you who had a background in finance. She's Nigerian born, and she talked about setting up her own lending company and the process of that for businesses that kind of fell in the cracks between ones that are traditionally funded and those that, really there's no precedent for, which kind of sounds like yours, but have you found, even with your background in finance, that I think you said you're looking for outside capital, is it really difficult with a sort of non-traditional business to find the kind of financing that will let you do the growth that you'd like to have?
I will try and paraphrase your question. Has it been challenging for me as well to find financing, similarly to the Nigerian woman who started her business? Absolutely. Black women are one of the fastest growing categories in entrepreneurship and also the most underfunded. And so, yeah, there's a level of creativity that you have to have for sure, because traditional financing can be challenging, especially if, for instance, you have poor credit or lack in understanding in financial terms. I was in banking and finance, and it was related to commercial real estate. That did not qualify me as an expert for seeking lending for a small business. There are many barriers that exist for Black women in particular to accessing capital, and so once again we had to leverage our creative side and apply for grants and apply for small business loans or micro loans or grants, and that's really helped fill in the gap where traditional lending has yet to serve our community.
First of all, I just want to say congratulations, and how wonderful it is that you're able to work with your daughter in business. I mean, it just sounds amazing. I'm curious more, almost like just the sort of the nitty-gritty details, as you've grown from your teenage daughter creating candles and pop-ups at farmers market to a six-figure business. Is, the glass that you're getting for them, the beautiful labels, the scents that you're using, the candles themselves, have you connected with people who can then make enough of this as you've grown your business, especially with your e-commerce, and then, the shipping aspect of it and having the glass, so clearly you can't just mail them like a letter. I imagine this must have been a huge learning curve in a sense as to how do we grow this to a extent that we can't just do it if it were your garage or wherever you were doing it. And what was that process like for you and your daughter?
Absolutely. What was the process of growing and scaling our business like? I really attribute our speedy growth to our network. One of the organizations I belong to is called the Minority Business Growth Alliance, and it's a accumulation of volunteers and allies that are non-BIPOC, that don't look like us, who've decided to contribute their time, energy, and subject matter expertise to helping small businesses grow. One of my business consultant owned a business in downtown Minneapolis on the corner of 9th Street and LaSalle, and at one of the meetings asked what was our greatest need, and I said, we need space, we need to get out of the garage. It was about to be November and really cold, and he consulted with his business partner, and a week later we were in 4,000 square feet of office space. He said, have at it. His team had just pivoted because of COVID and started working remotely, and having that space and that opportunity really allowed us to scale. Almost immediately, I say within 3 months, we decided we can no longer pour these candles at home. So we sought out a co-packer, which has really helped us grow and scale to a point where we just opened a store in downtown Minneapolis in the same building, but right next door. We built relationship with the property manager. They were happy to see someone in the space and have activity on that corner. And so we are now thriving in our own storefront where we're hosting workshops, candle making workshops, bath salt making and sugar scrub making workshops, but we also have a component where we introduce self-care into the candle making. We lead with a meditation and help people really set their intention on, just making space and being present in that moment and giving themselves or their loved one a moment of time. And so, yes, the network really helped us and is helping us as we grow and scale.
Can you explain a little bit more specifically about the candles? Like, how long is the playlist? How do you select scent versus music? Or
that is the creative. How do we select scent? The candle making process. Initially, it was all Kobi in the kitchen. She loved all things music, all things aromatherapy. She loved dancing, and so Kobi Co is authentically our brand and authentically us. I attribute her love of music to me, which I attribute to my mom, but music really helps set the mood, and so, as does scent. And so when she was coming up with the scents, she was like, this makes me feel, and then she would fill in the blank. She had our bookworm candle was inspired by her studying, and so she had music that she likes to study to, and so a lot of that's on the playlist. Our Purple Rain candle, everyone in our house loves Prince, so needless to say, there's tons of Prince on that candle playlist, and we jam out to it all the time. The scents, again, it's an experience, and we want the scents to evoke something magical in you. And so we have one of our top selling candles has cucumber, lavender, and eucalyptus in it, and it's really soothing. And from the feedback that we've gotten from people, they really love to chillax to our candles. And so I can't take credit for it. It's all Kobi. And most of the playlists have about 10 to 20 songs. It kind of depends on how she's feeling. We've created iterations to the playlists because, music is ever evolving. We started the company back in 2020. Some great songs have come out since then. So we've got a couple of volumes to our chillax and playlists, and we're building additional volumes because sometimes moods change and sometimes we need to add a new hot release to it. And so Kobi is really behind the creative, and it's just awesome to see her incorporate all of her loves into what is authentically our brand. Yes.
Thank you for being here. In Bloomington, we just are putting together a small business development center focused on women, BIPOC individuals. Not to repeat all of this, but what I'd like to know, as the demographics of Bloomington continue to shift and change, what advice would you give to policymakers or staff members here to try to attract and retain BIPOC-owned businesses?
What advice would I give policymakers to attract and retain BIPOC business makers? I'd say give them an opportunity. Shop with them, support them, and get to know them and the mission and the cause behind what they're doing. A lot of people are out here making a way out of no way, and it's so inspiring. A lot of people saw COVID as an opportunity to pivot and really focus on what matters, and then to take charge of their own life and livelihood. And so all we need as a small business owner is an opportunity, whether that's you liking something on social media, whether it's you sharing word of mouth about a great product that you've heard about. The support and light on those businesses is really what's helpful, as well as funding.
Good funding piece.
All right, second question. I love the fact, and congratulations that you've been able to add a service element to your business so quickly.
Thank you.
And you mentioned that you have a scholarship that you give out.
Yes.
Are you able to share details as to how you connect with people who may be qualified and what you're looking for to give a scholarship out?
Again, I wish I could take credit for it. Kobe's not here, so she couldn't be like, Mom. No, it was totally Kobe's idea. I raised her to be very service-oriented, and she enjoys helping. And so when she realized that she wasn't quite prepared for college or the next step, she's like, well, we can support other BIPOC women who want to pursue their education. She intentionally created parameters around it where you did not have to go to an accredited university. She respects the non-traditional journey. There's so many opportunities and organizations that do help individuals and students that are going to an accredited university, but she wanted to step outside the norm. And if someone wants to pursue being a nail tech or a hairstylist, she didn't want to hinder them, or she just wanted to be able to support all dreams. And so the scholarship is announced. It'll be announced on September 24th. This will be our second round, our second annual round of giving. We were matched. We initially decided to give out $500, and as we began to share our story, there was an organization that donated and matched the funds, and so now we're able to support 2 students. There's more information that's on our website. We start promoting the scholarship on our social media and through our newsletter, and that also, helps spread via word of mouth. But additional information's on the website. We just want someone who's passionate and who has a dream, and a great way of sharing their story with us. So the scholarship is pretty easy to apply to, and there aren't such stringent requirements as with traditional scholarships.
Are there products outside here that we could look at?
Yes. I brought a small sampling of the products that we have. Our core scents, our core candles are out there, as well as our 3-in-1 sprays. If you come to the store, located at 48 South 9th Street in downtown Minneapolis, right across the street from Target, we're right there. You can see all of the products that we have on display. We're pretty active in the farmers market community as well. We're at Minneapolis farmers markets on Saturdays and Sundays. We're at Mill City Farmers Market throughout the season. We're not a food vendor, so we don't have we're not there as often, but they publish the schedule with the vendors that will be there. We're at Linden Hills and Northeast Farmers Markets as well. But again, some of our core scents are out there. I hope you take a look and a smell, and I'll show you how to access the playlist if you're interested. But yep. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Tasha, for being here today. With that, we are adjourned.